Hello, fourth grade scientists. Today's objective is I can explain how scientists classify plants and animals. Today we're going to be using your fourth grade science spiral notebooks. If you don't have one, feel free to follow along with the video, but if you do have one, feel free to use your spiral notebook to follow along in. We are going to continue reading about how scientists classify living organisms. Please turn to page 113 in your science notebook. Let's begin. Please follow along with your finger if you have your spiral notebook. Classification. Scientists have developed a system known as classification, a way to group things, and it shows relationships between living things that are alike in some ways. Classification requires us to look at similar characteristics in organisms. You can look at the outward appearance or look inside the animal. Outward appearances can include the texture, shape, size, and color of an animal. There are two large groups of living things on Earth, plants and animals. Think of some ways plants and animals are alike or different. How do you know if you are an animal or a plant? Classifying plants. When classifying plants, you need to observe the shapes, quantity, and size of the parts of a plant: roots, stems, flowers, leaves, seeds, or fruit. Look at the photos of the aspen tree and the Utah juniper to compare and contrast the characteristics of these two plants. Okay, so we have the aspen tree and the juniper tree. Look how they're the same and how they're different. Utah juniper tree. When we compare plants, it is sometimes easier to use the different plant structures to compare the plants. We can look at the leaves, for example, in the aspen tree and the juniper tree and compare them. The aspen tree has wide, flat leaves, while the juniper has small, waxy, scale-like leaves. Grouping animals. Have you ever wondered why a trout is known as a fish, yet a whale is known as a mammal? When we group similar things together, it is called classifying. Some animals cannot be classified by outward appearance. Scientists must also look inside the animal. For example, the skeleton and the way bones are joined are clues to classify or group animals. A whale has many internal parts that are the same as other mammals. Even though whales live in the ocean, they look more like mammals on the inside than they look like a trout. Scientists must look inside animals to classify them into groups. Most animals can be divided up into two main groups: vertebrates, an animal with a backbone, and invertebrates, an animal without a backbone. The backbone supports the whole body. Examples of animals that are vertebrates are humans, fish, horses, snakes, and whales. Animals that do not have a backbone are called invertebrates. Some invertebrates have a hard outer shell, such as crabs, crayfish, snails, insects, and spiders. The shell protects and supports their bodies. A worm is an invertebrate that does not have any bones or shell for its body. We can classify animals into two more groups: cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. A cold-blooded animal's body temperature will change with the temperature of its surroundings. A snake's body temperature could get as low as 40 degrees Fahrenheit at night because the night air is 40 degrees Fahrenheit. In the morning, when the sun comes out, A snake will move to an open space and warm its body with the sunlight. This will make the snake's body temperature rise as the temperature in the air rises. Warm-blooded animals will maintain the same body temperature no matter what temperature surrounds their bodies. Your normal body temperature stays at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It does not drop very low or go extremely high no matter what the temperature is outside. Using characteristics such as the presence of a backbone and whether an organism is warm or cold-blooded has led scientists to develop animal groups. Most of the animals you know about are birds, mammals, insects, fish, reptiles, amphibians, and spiders. This chart will help you see what each group is like. Okay, so here we have characteristics of organisms. So these are all how scientists have classified using these characteristics. You're going to be using this chart to create a PowerPoint. Please read this chart carefully, and I will be giving you directions on how you will be using this chart to create a PowerPoint later. Proceed forward with the Nearpod and complete the activities. You will be completing a slideshow, a Google slideshow using this chart down the road. So please go ahead and read the chart.